Okay, well, hello. Let's see if we can get that on this other computer so we can see what we're doing here. And let's see if we can get that on this computer. There we are. We can hear ourselves. Let's turn off the sound. Don't want echo. And there we are. Let's see. So we're going to edit a cooking video about. Um, let's see if we can hide some of this crap in the background more. Let's see if we can do that. Turn that around a little bit. There we are. And it's 20 after 8. So let's play some solitaire while we're waiting for an audience. And then we'll start editing mushroom and bacon pasta. Mushroom and bacon pasta. That was a pasta, yes. Okay, let's see how many people will come and watch us. It says nobody's watching us. One person's watching us, maybe 2 people, who knows. Let's see how many people we get. Okay, let's play solitaire for a starter. And let's see. Yeah, I just saw Once Upon a City. She's out in the east end of the city walking around at Busker Fest. That's a nice little event. Some interesting people. Bit chilly for walking around outside today. That's the downside of today. Let's see how many. Who's watching? I can't tell how many people are watching. This is 0 watching. Nobody's liked it. Let's see what. Hey, Caesar Mocha, thank you for coming aboard. So just playing some solitaire, waiting for an audience. Always appreciate the visit from you. You're a wonderful supporter. Really appreciate that. I think I did check you out this week on your channel, and always looking for new videos. Let's start this game again and see if we can win this, and then we'll get into the editing. As I only have an hour, I got to deal with something else after that, and I want to make some good progress on this latest mushroom and bacon, creamy mushroom and bacon pasta. So I bought the mushrooms, didn't know what I was going to do with them, and I put some into another recipe, and they ended up tasting pretty good. Let me just close out Once Upon a City, not to overload the internet here. Okay, so let's, we're not going to win this, right? Let's see if we can win this. Oh, this might be a good start. It might be a good start. Let's give it another couple of minutes, just in case it is a winner. Don't want to abandon a good show if we got a good show. Let's see. This might be a winner. A lot of things here. Oh, the 9 can go under there. That's perfect. Oh my God, that's really perfect. Look how quickly these things are going away here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Gator Saw, thank you for coming aboard. So I'm going to try to finish this this game of solitaire. I'm sort of winning. Let's see how much. We have to go through the deck more than once. Yeah, we have to go through the deck more than once. Well, maybe not. Let's see. Where's that? 7. That's good. 6, 7. Yeah, we might actually. Hey, got through it with only going through the deck once. So that was really good. It's only 6,000 points, though. So usually, I like if I get more than 10,000 points, I consider myself a winner. Oh yeah, let's look at our good friends Premiere Pro. Start that up. I've created a project and given it a name, Mushroom Bacon Pasta. And I've created a sequence, so it's an HD sequence. And my footage is recorded in 4K. So this is all of it. The Word document was my teleprompter script for some of the voiceover. So let's bring in some, and then I've got some photos here that I'm going to use for the blog, the website. Let's see. So, some of this, that's not a bad picture. Look at the mushrooms and the bacon bits in there. So I really like that picture. Let's see what else we got here. So the finished food, it's not bad. Not 100% happy with some of the colors. So that's going to have to get fixed in Photoshop a little bit to ice cream sandwiches for lunch. That sounds like the breakfast of champions. Anyway, so let's get back to our video footage. Here it is. We don't want the Word document in there. Let's drag that into the project, set it there, and sort it in alphabetical order. It is in alphabetical order. Let's resort it. Sometimes it doesn't take oh yeah, see, it wasn't in alphabetical order, so it had missed a few things. Let's bring that in here. And let's lay it on the timeline. And do we want to change the timeline to match this footage? No, the footage is 4K. We want the timeline, the edit, to be in HD. It looks good on YouTube, and it allows me to zoom in and out and crop and play with some of the footage without to overcome things I did wrong with the camera settings. So let's see what we got here. So here we have, let me just hide that so I can see the chat. Here we have, what do we have here? Where is that? So here's me cutting mushrooms. So I guess it's a mushroom pasta. So we have to have mushrooms. So some bacon. The knife wasn't very sharp, so I had to fiddle with the bacon a little bit. Susanna Morjon, thank you for coming aboard. I haven't seen you in a whole week. That's not true. I saw you a couple of times last week. So this is a little bit dark, right? I don't really like the color there. It got, see, on a white background, the color was nice. But for the darker items, the color is not so good. So we're going to have to add some color correction on there. So here we have the finished item. Okay, so something is missing here because I had decided that some of these items weren't what I wanted when I just reviewed the footage. So let's remove them from the clip right away. And something that we haven't done online yet is so this is me providing the intro. And the intro, Arizona Jake, hey man, how's the workouts going? The the intros are recorded on a green screen because it's hard to record them on the boat properly. Marijuana Marianne, how are you doing yourself? Yeah, you get some good interesting images that you're posting there. I swear some of those women are AI, but then again, what do I know? AI is getting harder and harder to tell reality from from unreality. Anyway, so we're gonna do me introducing this, and I think I've found myself an apron. This is an apron that I liked when I was cooking in the bakery. I had a nice white apron, and I want to find that again. But let's do that. I don't. This one I'm going to take out because it's not using the apron. So I wanted to try this apron. Let's start by working on me. So we're going to make it shorter, and this should be an intro and an extra, right? So let's see if we can hear me talking.
If you love the taste of mushrooms and you love the taste of bacon, this simple creamy pasta recipe is for you. Let's get cooking. Let's get cooking. If you love the taste of mushrooms and you love the if you love the taste of mushrooms and you love the taste of bacon, this simple creamy pasta recipe is for you. Let's get cooking. That was so simple and so good. Even the leftovers.
The leftovers were good. Okay, so I recorded this a few times because I didn't like what I was doing. So let's say here we're going to start tipping the hat. So let's go back just a hair and see if we got. Okay, now that's a little bit too big, so let's make it a bit smaller. Now, when I recorded this, I didn't realize I had this stupid tripod here. So let's move that over. And how far out do we have to go? What we're going to do, we're going to crop this off so that we don't see that tripod. Okay, so now this guy's underexposed. Let's give him a little bit more light. There he is. We could actually check to see if the white is clipping, but it doesn't look like it is. Let's go find ourselves the yeah, happy to share, Jake. As I say, just talking to myself and looking at some of the feedback. Always get a good idea. Okay, so Ultra Key. This is Adobe's. Actually, it's been around for a few years. They had a better keying thing um, 5 or 6 years ago before they went online with, and that allowed you to pick colors in two places. Now you only get one color. Um, but we always know that it needs to be aggressive because I've got some lighter and some darker there. Green, so let's go that. That's not bad. We got rid of all of that. We want to make sure that, see, oh, there's still some spillage down here, so we want to make sure that is gone. So maybe we'll just try that. Is that a bit better? And we can change. They have a setting here under matte generation. And the matte is really the black part, right around uh, the hero. Let's just raise the pedestal. So the pedestal is the black level in video terms. Okay, so we still got this piece of crap on the side here. Let's see what we're going to do with that. Let's bring this back to composite video, and let's bring that up. And we need a background. So now the background I'm going to use is one I've used in a bunch of clips. People that have seen the live on the boat have probably seen that before. And I'll have to find that. I can never remember which one it is. Let's go here and find. So we got some food backgrounds. And it's a relatively recent clip. Where is that? I think it's this one. No, not that one. Okay, so here we've got the variety of backgrounds shot on the boat. But I can't find the one that we're looking for. Do we want that one? No. I don't know which one it is. Where did it go? So that's a bit too wide. And this fabric cover here, this bimini cover, is a little bit oppressive. It may be this one that I wanted to use. So let's bring that onto the timeline and see. We don't want the audio. It's just the seagulls, or I don't know, I can't remember what it was. Let's bring that under there. Okay, so there we got that. And again, this was shot in 4K, so I can adjust that. Okay, so I don't really want to see the name of that boat. Let's go down a little bit more. Okay, that's as far as we can go. So that was me sitting on the boat. That's not the one that I really wanted to use. Let's see if we could have a different one. That yeah, so we don't see anybody's names in here. So that's not bad. Let's see if I got a better video clip. So that was interior. I kind of like this one. It's we don't have other names of other people's boats there. We have some names of boats in there, but I think we can do that. I don't like that one. Let's not use that one. That's weird. Why can't I find the one that I like the most? Okay, it'll have to do. Let's keep it. Okay, so here's the intro.
Let's get cooking. That was so simple.
Okay, we'll cut that here. And now that's our intro. Let's bring that forward a little bit. Put it right at the beginning of the timeline. It's not going to be at the beginning, because at the beginning I want to actually have a shot of food. Mountain sparrow, how are you? Oh, so we got some empty space here, so bring it there. Mountain sparrow. I know you. I haven't been at your site in a while, but I remember some of these videos. Let's give you a wrench. Network as you wish. And I'll come back and check you out once this exciting adventure is over. So let's see. Okay, so we got an intro. Now for the real intro, what we want is the finished product. So here we've got, so this is me putting it down, and then I actually ate some of it. So I like that. That's got the green's not quite green enough, but we'll worry about that later. Let's cut off a piece of this. So this, let's see there. We're putting it on the charger placemat. Let's bring that to the beginning. Yeah, Jake, that is an actual collapsible green screen. I've got a bunch of green screens. did a lot of training videos where we'd have people talking in front of them. This is a pop-up green screen. It's about 6 feet by 8 feet. So it's a good size for one person. It's definitely a good size for a talking head. I think I've used that one for 2 talking heads side by side, a 2-shot. And it's quite compact. The other ones I have require stands to hold them up, and they were used for training videos. So yeah, it's an actual green screen. It's the official green, because there is some differences in the color of green. And the reason people use green is that human beings don't have any green in them. They also have blue screen, and the back of that one has a blue fabric background. And the problem with blue is people have blue eyes, and there's a bit of blue in many skin tones. And if you use blue with people, sometimes you get a sort of a washing out. The downside of green, the advantage of blue, especially in an environment like this where the background has a lot of blue in it, is that if the keying software can't quite determine where the edges of the talent are, then if this had a very slight blue fringe, it would look okay. If it had a green fringe, it looks god awful. We don't have a green fringe here. There are other times when my lighting was not that good. So again, this was shot on a green screen in my basement studio. If I'm out on the boat, I only have one light, and a green screen doesn't work. So setting it up to record an introduction on the boat ends up being more aggravation than it's worth, because there's not a lot of room. I could bring more lights down, but I've got more spread, then I've got to spread them out too thin. And the other problem with doing some of this recording in the boat is that there isn't room for the person and the camera and all of the lights in that space. So I'm cheating a little bit by recording some of it at home, recording some of it out on the boat, and then bringing them together with the magic of the green screen. So let's say this guy for our intro is how long? How many seconds is that? That is 9 seconds. So we don't really need 9 seconds. Let's get rid of the soundtrack. We don't want that. This guy's soundtrack, I want to put it on this. I always have my audio on voiceover on this track, and my background sounds on this track. So here we've got, okay, so we're going to come in and we're going to talk right there. So, okay, so that we don't want that much of this intro, because people are going to get bored watching a plate being set down. I know when I watch Martha Stewart, she does that, but then I'm not Martha Stewart. So here we're doing this, picking up a piece. I don't know why I was unhappy with the camera angle. Was I not paying attention? So let's rotate that a little bit. Let's make it a hair smaller. Move it over, bring it down. And let's make it a bit bigger again so that it fits the screen nicely. And now we've got a good intro. Okay, we'll stop there. That's 7 seconds. 7 seconds is pretty good. And then we'll have the captain and Tennille. Not sure where Tennille is today, but oh. And then, so that's that. And now I wanted to show a bit of the cooking. And you know, I listen to every feedback that I get. So somebody, in a gentle, sarcastic way, pointed out that in one of my liver shots, I spent 2 minutes cutting up an onion and liver. And I looked at it, and yeah, I was bored out of my tree. How, like 2 minutes of chopping up an onion and a piece of liver is definitely way too boring. So we're going to break it up a little bit. And let's see. So where is that good shot of? So here we're putting the mushrooms in. So I think this is a good shot here. What we're going to do is move this onto these other tracks, and then copy it back here. Now, again, we don't need. Let's leave the sound there because this is the sound of sizzling, right? Yeah. So the sound of sizzling is good. Yeah, the green screen. See, during COVID, when I had a lot of Zoom meetings, Zoom has a green screen background, as does YouTube. Right? There's a green screen thing, and if you actually have yourself in front of a green screen, especially if you have very light colored hair, there's all kinds of weird things happening. But if the screen is actually green, then it does a better job of putting in your fake background. So. Yeah, it's a toolkit that take advantage of to make things look exciting. Okay, so here we have. Okay, let's move that over here. Let's get rid of a bit of that. Put this on. This is my track for background sounds. Okay, so let's make this a little bit smaller, zoom out, center it a bit. And that's a nice shot of the cooking, right? So here.
Let's get cooking.
Okay, so what we're going to do is this, where he says, let's get cooking. We're going to cut that off and move it to after the cooking. And bring that here. We need a piece of background for there. Let's stick that in there. Let's stick him in here. And we need some of that as a background, because here we've got the marina background. Here we've got nothing, a black background. So we need to put that in there. So let's cut this in here. That'll give us a piece for here. Stretch this back out to here. And I don't like transitions. I think things work best when you talk.
It's for you.
And then you do this. But I do like one transition in these intros and extras. And that's really this thing that they call a cross zoom. So let's put that there. Let's put that there. We want to make the background zoom at the same rate. Otherwise, it looks weird.
For you.
There you go. So it sort of makes the effect better.
If you love the taste of mushroom.
Okay, so now that's. I wanted to introduce this to talk about it a little bit. So now, again, back to my friend who pointed out the error of my ways. Oh, we need another cross zoom here. And we're going to need one at the other end as well. So let's come back to that later. So this is cutting up some cherry tomatoes. Why? Because I like the color. We don't really need cherry tomatoes. They don't add to the flavor a lot, but they add a lot of color. So how long did it take me? It took me 24 seconds to cut up 4 cherry tomatoes. There's the end. Now, the reason I'm doing this now is because it's here in front of us. Let's eliminate that. And what we're going to do is, we don't really need that much cutting up cherry tomatoes, and we're going to speed it up to 160% of the actual rate. So it looks okay. The cutting is a little bit faster than you want. How many seconds do we have here now? We have, 5 seconds. And then we're going to put another 4 seconds of this at the end. How many seconds? That's 2. That's 3. Okay. So now what does that look like? Okay, that was weird because suddenly let's bring that closer. Let's move that there. So does this look good now? It does. It looks. You go from nothing to a whole bunch of tomatoes, but it's still good enough. Okay, so that's good. But we're not going to put that first. We're going to do the bacon first because the bacon is an important part of the recipe. Let's just put this, move it up so that we can move it around without impacting anything else. Because if you drag one clip on top of another clip, it cuts into it and it does weird stuff. So let's basically we're going to get rid of this and move it over here. What are we cutting here? We're cutting mushrooms. So let's cut some mushrooms. Let's see. So we've got way too much mushrooms. This is how many seconds? Hello. This is 1 minute and 16 seconds of mushrooms. That's way too much mushrooms. We want 15 seconds. The everything tastes better with bacon. So here, we're going to keep this end. Okay, I like that. That's 13 seconds. And then we'll pick up some of this at the beginning. Okay, I want that. Because we're starting with the mushrooms. Let's move that over. Hello. That's nice. And we're going to actually put that up here because I want to go back to my zoom, cross zoom, stick that in there. And now let's bring that a bit up. And we'll do our zooms, cross zooms on the background as well so that the effect is synchronized. Okay, so now what are we doing here? We're doing that.
Let's get cooking.
Okay, and we start off with some mushrooms. And we want to cut on the action. That's good enough. That's a second. Okay, 2 seconds is good. If it gets to be less than 2 seconds, then it's probably a little bit less. So this one has to be on this track so that I can get the zoom with the captain talking. Okay, so how much do we want here? We don't really want a lot of this stuff. Let's make it a lot shorter. Let's say this last piece of the mushrooms on the table and the last cut is 13 seconds. So if I get 12 seconds, 10 seconds. Let's see, does that look good? Let's bring that up to here, bring that to here, and let's see what this looks like. Okay, we're cutting. I like that. So, okay, so that's way too much time wasted on cutting that one sad little mushroom. Let's see if it looks better after that. And what we're going to do is we're going to make it a little bit longer and again speed it up to 160%, and which is about twice as fast. Okay, man. Thank you for coming by, Jake. We will check you out later. I always appreciate the support. So let's see. We're going to move that down a little bit, make it fit. See who we have left here, and that's good. And then bring that into there. What's this? Okay, so we got to take out the first 8 frames because their sound doesn't work there. Stupid camera doesn't like that. Okay, so we don't want that. Now here. Does that look good? If I bring that side by side. Okay, so let's do here. Take out another quarter second there. So how many seconds? So altogether now our mushrooms is starting at 28 seconds, ending at 51 seconds, 28, that's 20, 23 seconds. So that's a little bit on the long side. Okay, stop there. Watch it later and see if I like it. Hey, She Cooks, thank you for coming aboard. You're the expert at cooking productions and the infotainment of cooking. If you haven't seen She Cooks' show, it's there's some amazing personalities there. I mean, how many personalities she's got, and the costumes and the it's good. And once in a while, you learn something about cooking as well. So thank you for coming aboard. So here we are. We got some mushrooms. So now we got. But I think still we don't want mushrooms first. I think we want bacon first because I'm going to put the bacon in the pan. No. So what we're going to do, I just finished cutting up the mushrooms. And then I'm going to say, let's get the noodles going while we get ready for the bacon. So where's the noodles? So here's bacon, noodles. So let's have some noodles. And when I did this, I cheated. I actually made 4 cups of noodles because I wanted some spare. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the noodles. I want to start I don't want to start the noodles at first because it's boring as hell. We're going to put some salt in the water. I don't know why. Another clip where I had the camera not centered on the table. And that, okay, so put some salt in the water. How many seconds do we need for salt in the water? We don't need 6 seconds for salt in the water. Four seconds is enough. Let's zoom out a little bit so that we see some of the excitement here. Okay, that's the end of that now. So see, I don't want to, if I do this is boring. So I don't want that to be the first thing that people see. I want something more interesting. So let's put some noodles into the water. 2 cups worth, 14 seconds. Okay, so we don't need all of that. We'll take out some in the middle here. And that way we end up with, where's the second cup being thrown in? That's good. Okay, so that's pretty good. The bubbling of the water looks realistic. Doing that. Okay, so this, we've got the noodles cooking. So we're going to put the stirring of the noodles a bit further down. Let's get on with the bacon. Because with the bacon, no, let's do the tomato. Get the tomato ready because the bacon is going to go from the cutting board into the pan. So we're going to cut up some cherry tomatoes for a little bit of flavor. And also for the color. Yeah, it's a it's a learning curve. I've looked at others. This thing cost me, I don't know how much a month, $20. Um, Resolve is free. Blackmagic Designer Resolve is free, but I've looked at it a few times and have always decided that it's more effort to learn how to use it than it's worth the $20. So, okay, so we got some bacon here. We got that. Okay, and then here, we got to get some garlic. Ugh, garlic. Garlic we can do later because we don't put it in for a few seconds, right? We put the garlic. There's the bacon. Bacon, tomatoes, mushrooms. Oh no, where did the garlic go? I see garlic in there. So that means the garlic is in here. Okay, so we can cut that and then I'll do the garlic preparation there. Okay, so let's cut up our bacon. Where's our bacon? Here's our bacon. So this is the first chunk. We'll do that because we're using 1/3 of a package of bacon. How many seconds is that? 10 seconds. Way too long. Way too long. Let's see. Okay, good enough. 5 seconds. A little bit on the slow side. Can you fall asleep with this? Yeah, you probably can. Okay. And then we're going to take this piece of bacon and start cutting it up. And the knife was dull, so I had to go and sharpen the knife. It was good after that. Okay. We're going to speed this piece up. Again, bacon, let's give it 160%. Always make it a bit slower if it looks too unnatural. Let's see. That looks good. I like that. Maybe even go to 180%. And interestingly, Adobe keeps the sound at a natural speed. So, travelers, hey, welcome aboard. Haven't seen you in a while. Actually, I haven't. I've come across your live notifications, and I can't remember when I last came by. I will add to my reminders to check out your latest sound creations. Travelers does an interesting music and with a play on the Chernobyl nuclear disaster in the Ukraine. So it's always an interesting thing, and my Ukrainian friends do talk about that from time to time. Okay, so here we've got this. We're putting the bacon in the pan, in the little bowl. Okay, that's enough. We don't want to spend forever on this. Okay, so now we've made the noodles. Oh no, this is noodles for later. So here we've got the first set of noodles, and now we do our tomatoes. Okay. So these stupid tomatoes, I'm going to move them. Nobody cares about tomatoes. Let's put the bacon here. So it's a little bit boring cutting the mushrooms. You know what? Let's put the bacon first. It's mushroom bacon pasta. Bacon mushroom pasta. You know, she cooks. I'd love it to see you do some of these things. Of course, you would stretch them out to be a whole production, and it would be interesting to watch that. Absolutely, it's a communal effort. So I'm going to put the bacon here. I might move it to the beginning. Okay, so now we've got the noodles. Okay, we're going to stir the noodles a bit. Why? It's a pretty color. We'll go down to 5 seconds. So we got to finish the bacon. I'm going to stir the noodles. Let's just center this a little bit more. And then what else we can do after the bacon? Now we want, can't remember what's in here. There's our tomatoes. Okay, so we have to do the tomatoes. Let's do the tomatoes next. There's some tomatoes being cut up. And at this point, we're checking to see if the noodles are done. You could always just cook it the right amount of time, but I figured by checking if the noodles are done, it adds a little bit of interest. And and I discovered, in fact, at the point I did this, they weren't done enough. So it took another 2 minutes of cooking before the noodles were done. So what can I do now? So here, let's cut up the garlic, right? Where is this garlic? Let's cut up some garlic for my garlic press. You've seen me cut stuff, and I'm not a good cutter, not a good mincer. So what we'll do here is we'll open some garlic. Let's zoom out a bit. These are getting a pretty sad piece of garlic. It's my last piece of garlic out of a package. And it's time for some more. Okay. Cut that there. How many seconds is that? That is 5 seconds. That's kind of long for a piece of garlic. We want to cut the ends off of it. I guess a bigger garlic press would have helped. Okay, let's cut that. And then we're putting the pieces into the garlic press. Good enough. This is a bit too much time for garlic, but let's keep it anyway. Okay, so we're peeling the cloves, we're cutting, trimming them, and we're putting them into the garlic press. Okay, so that happens there. Okay, and now our noodles are done. So we're going to drain them. Now, draining the pot over the sink isn't very interesting looking, so we're going to scoop them into a bowl. And we don't need 12 seconds of scooping. 9 seconds is good enough. And we're putting them aside. Good. Okay, so now, what do we got next? So we scooped this here. We're into 2 minutes of fun here. It's 9:15. So we'll go on for another 10 minutes, I guess. Yeah. To give us, Mr. Russian, thank you for dropping by. You said you want to drop by the boat. Not organized for meeting people in real life, but thank you for that thought. There's real life, and there is the fun we're having here. Okay, so now we're going to put we've scooped out the thing. Now we're going to put the bacon in. I'm going to put the garlic in. Okay. Now, because I said garlic is pretty boring, let's trim this right here. Bacon picks up here. We don't need this boring part here. Let's take our bacon, our garlic, and insert this in here. So when I recorded it, I did it in a sequence that, we're editing a next week's mushrooms and bacon, creamy mushroom and bacon pasta. So here, we're going to spend a second on that. Can I make this shorter? I'll watch it later. Now we're putting the garlic in. And okay, it actually took two squishes of the garlic press to get it all in there, but one is plenty. Okay, and now we're going to stir it a bit. And close the lid. A lot of people will say you don't want to close the lid on bacon because it does get a little bit soggy. But I'm mindful in my presentation of recipes that if I'm cooking this on the boat, I don't really want spatter all over everything. And cooking it with the lid closed is a small sacrifice for not having to clean up the place. Okay, so how long is this piece? This is 24 seconds of stirring. We're squishing the tomato. Let's stop there. That brings it down to 14 seconds. That's good. Time is important. We want to end up with 8 to 10 minutes in the final video. We don't want to be less than 7. Okay, so when I talk about how many seconds it takes, I'm mindful of my total time budget. I'm also mindful of people not getting bored. Now, I watch other people's videos, and they're stirring this pot, and I'm still not giving up on them. So boredom is relative, I guess. Okay, we got some mushrooms. Let's keep going there. There's the end of the action. What's this here? So this is the one that we took at the beginning. Do we need that? So we got this. Here the mushrooms not very cooked. I don't think we need this. How many minutes is the total program? 10 minutes. And partly that's because we've got an empty space there, so 9 minutes. Let's go back here. And I'm going to say, see, here's some good bubbling, and then I'm putting in some spices. I'm going to say that I'm not going to use this. Oh, what's this? Oh, yeah, I'm adding a bit of oil. Okay. Because the mushrooms soak up the oil pretty fast. I did put some oil in with the butter. I think I learned that from Martha Stewart. And so I want to mention that. So we're putting in some oil. "27 seconds." So it's a little bit on the long side. Again, when I finish the dialogues, I want to have enough talk to cover the whole thing as well. Make it a little bit shorter. Okay, so now what are we doing? We're going to put some. We're going to put some spices. I can't even remember what I put in this. I think somewhere I'd have to look up my recipe, but it's, I'm pretty sure that's oregano and some hot pepper flakes. Okay, so we do got some more stirring, 29 seconds. I don't know if I got 29 seconds of things to say about the spices, but let's leave it for now. And then what are we doing? Oh, now we're putting in some tomato paste. And I like the tube paste because it's easy to save. If you use a can of tomato paste, you can't really save it. right? You open the can and the whole thing is there. So the paste, yeah, you need a fridge. So if you're on a boat or RV without a fridge, then that's not going to work properly. But so square skirt. Okay, so this something moved, like it's not quite aligned properly. We'll deal with the alignment later. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 0. Is that aligned there? See, it moved just a hair. That's better. Let it cook for a while until everything's nice and soft. Okay, so now we're going to add just a little bit of flour to thicken up the cream. Some people will say the flour should be made into a slurry in your cup. I'm just going to sprinkle it over top. I know there I'm pouring in some cream and putting the lid on it. Okay, so we're down to 7 minutes. So we might leave some bits longer than otherwise. We're tasting it. And I'm sure that I'm going to say something in my voiceover that, it tastes wonderful. And it did taste wonderful. Let's take a few seconds of this out. And there we are. Zoom out a little bit here as well. I'll align all of these when I've got them all together. So we're adding some Parmesan, stirring that up. And then we are adding some noodles. So there's the end of that. So I switched from the green spatula to a blue spoon. Hope that's okay with everybody. Okay, so now we're going to dish it out, serve it out. And I think I cheated when I took the still photos. I washed some of the sauce off of the off of some pieces of mushroom so that I would get some pretty looking pieces. Okay, so what have I got here? Okay, so here we had taken a piece off of this to move to the front. So I'm going to use that piece again because it shows me picking up a piece of mushroom on the fork. There we are. So where does that start? Very good. So there we are now. Serving that out. Okay, that's nice. And we're going to put that here. We're going to put this here. Then we got some recipes. So this is only 6 minutes and 42 and another 30 seconds of recipe of ingredients. It's a bit on the short side. I wanted to be over 7 minutes. We're going to do the same thing here. Get our friend across Zoom. Put him in there. Put him in there. Line this up so that it looks perfect. Okay, so here we want to move this way over so it's centered. I think I had rotated that a little bit. How long is this thing? 7 seconds? Does that say 7? Sorry, I missed it. 7 seconds. That's okay. I could talk about it a little bit there. And there we are. We're saying that it's It was tasty, even the leftovers. Okay, so now we're going to do one more little thing. Did I make my list of ingredients? Let's see. Let me see if I can find my list of ingredients. Mushroom bacon pasta. Mushroom bacon pasta. I did not list my ingredients. Okay, so I don't have that handy yet. But we're going to end up with a list of ingredients. I'm going to steal a list of ingredients from another video just so that I can have it on the timeline to see how long it's all going to be. Creole shrimp. Let's steal it from Creole shrimp. So basically, we want seagulls, the background, and the ingredients segment. We'll copy that and close that project. We'll paste it in here. And now let's get all of this stuff to line up here. Okay, so now we've got him talking, and we've got the ingredients here. Now for the Creole shrimp, I needed two columns. I don't need 2 columns of ingredients here. Let's get rid of that. Bring that down. And then my ingredients here, of course, aren't going to. It's going to be 1 pound mushrooms. ¼ pound bacon. And I'm going with pounds because predominantly this is for an American audience that works in pounds. Up here in Canada, we do like our metric. Some bacon, some cooking oil. I guess I'm making this up as I'm going here. This has to be fixed yet. So 6 cherry tomatoes. 3 cloves of garlic. 3 cloves of garlic, 1 cup cream, 1 tablespoon oregano, what else did I put? I'm going to reorganize this once I have my ingredient list properly set out. 3 cloves of garlic. So I'm not even going to bother putting the pasta in there because the pasta is whatever pasta you might happen to have. 1 tablespoon of flour. 1 tablespoon flour. 1/4 cup grated Parmesan cheese. And that's basically it. So now we have gone out to 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, it'll really depend on how long it takes me to read this to see how long we want that to be. So why don't we do that right now? I'm just going to read it from here, then we can redo it later on. And to do that, I need to turn off the echo of the sound on this computer, and let's record. I'm just going to read it from here. Ingredients: 1 pound mushrooms, 1/4 pound bacon, cooking oil, 6 cherry tomatoes, 1 tablespoon oregano, 1 cup cream, 3 cloves garlic, 1 tablespoon flour, 1/4 cup grated Parmesan cheese. Okay, so I don't really need that much. Plus, I do need to fix this little typo. And I need to fix this little typo. Okay, so now if we're doing that, let's turn the sound back on.
Ingredients: 1 pound.
Okay, so let's move that forward just a hair. We want the word ingredients to start about there, right? Okay, there's all of my that. So now what we're going to do is get that to be the length of my
Grated Parmesan cheese.
and here. Okay, first of all, this has been slowed down, so let's run it at 100%. We'll slow down to make room for another video where my dialogue took longer. Okay, so then we want our seagull sound, which is going to overlap that a bit. So let's go here. That's as far as it goes. Okay. Then let's fill this into here. Let's do our cross zoom on this as well. Okay. See, if you don't do the cross zooms properly, then you end up with some weird looking stuff.
Oh, good. Even the leftovers. Ingredients:
That's good. And then here, so how many seconds are we now? We're 7 minutes and 12 seconds. So that's a good length. That's what I really wanted for this thing. Let's start the seagull a little bit earlier.
1/3 cup grated Parmesan cheese.
Wonderful. So having said that, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to go off and do something else. And let's just save this, put this over here for the time being. I'm going to close this, save it. It's been saved. Let's get rid of it. Back to there. And now I'm going to say thank you very much. And we'll have all this fun again. Otherwise, we'll see you Wednesday on the boat. End my stream. Yes, please end my stream.